Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul build for the Magicka Arcanist, updated for the Necrom DLC patch. This build is capable of pulling over 88k on the parse dummy and is a solid build for group content. Please use these builds as a baseline, as there are many viable gear sets and skills in the game, and builds should be tailored for specific content for optimal results. With that being said, here we go. So as per usual, starting off with the character sheet, I have 64 points in a Magicka, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. Because we are a Magicka build, we're going to be a high elf as the race. You can go other races, it's not going to matter too much. For the food, we're just going to go with standard Magicka food, meaning we're going to be opting to use Clockwork Citrus Fillet as our in-content food. For a cheaper and almost just a good alternative would be running Witch Mother's Potent Brew, unless if you're parsing or need more sustain. Ghastly Eyeball is always the best choice. And for the potions, because we are running Oakensoul, we're just going to be opting to use either Tri-Stat potions, resistance potions, or just standard essence of Magicka potions will work just fine as well. For CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Fighting Finesse, Biting Aura, Thaumaturge, and Wrathful Strikes. For the red CP, Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and Celerity. So for the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Deadly paired with 5 pieces of Whirl, 1 piece Slime, and Oakensoul Ring. So breaking down in the main hand, we have a Deadly Dagger Nurnode with a Flame Damage enchant, and the offhand Charge with a Poison Damage enchant. For the head slot, we have 1 piece Medium Slime Crawl, and Divines with a Max Mag enchant. 1 piece of the body, we're running Deadly. This is Divines with a Max Mag enchant. And for the rest of the body, so 5 pieces, shoulders, waist, hands, legs, and feet, we have all Max Mag glyphs and Trade in Divines, and these are all Whirl pieces. Lastly, for the jewelry, 2 pieces of Deadly jewelry, both traded in weapon and spell damage enchants, and Bloodthirsty, and the Oakensoul Ring Bloodthirsty with a weapon and spell damage enchant as well. So for the skills, we'll be running Barbed Trap. This is really good single target damage, procs a bunch of hemorrhaging, and also gives us access to Fighter's Guild passives. Writhing Rune Blades, this is our spammable. This is what we're going to use to build Crux. Exhausting Fate Carver is our beam, which we're going to use after we get 3 Cruxes. Inspired Scholarship, this is a self buff that you can cast on yourself, and it pulses, does magic damage, and also builds your first Crux for free. Deadly Cloak, this is our dot that we're going to run from the dual wield skill line, does good damage and reduces damage that you take from AoE, so it gives you major evasion. And lastly, for the ultimate, we're using the Languid Eye, and this is a really strong ultimate. The area is kind of small, but it hits really hard. So for the rotation, it's going to be revolving around using our beam after building 3 Cruxes and keeping up our dots dynamically, meaning when they fall off, recast them. So these are the Scholarship, Barbed Trap, and Deadly Cloak. Keep those up as best as possible. Our spammable Writhing Rune Blades are going to be used to build the 2nd and 3rd stack. So as long as you have Inspired Scholarship up, it's going to always give you 1 stack every 3 seconds, meaning just cast it twice and then you can go straight into beam. Whenever your ultimate Languid Eye is ready, just use that whenever. So just to repeat the Crux mechanism, your first Crux is always going to come from Inspired Scholarship. As long as it's up and it's pulsing, it's going to give you 1 Crux. And then Writhing Rune Blades, use it twice to build 3 total Cruxes before you beam, and you should be good to go. So for closing thoughts, if you need to replace a skill, I think Barbed Trap would be the first one to go. It does really good single target damage, but all the other skills are kind of necessary, other than maybe Deadly Cloak. But the good thing about Deadly Cloak is it does proc your weapon enchantments while you have it active. So when you're beaming a lot and can't light attack, it's not a bad skill to use. Just very quickly, some gear alternatives. You can go something like Boss A if you can control your mag. Sororia is kind of iffy because you do have to proc it every 8 seconds and you do stay in a beam animation for almost 5. Something like Back Alley Gourmand would work just fine. And the standard proc sets like Pillar, Aegis Caller, Venomous Smite could work. Just make sure some of them do require martial melee damage, such as Aegis Caller, so make sure you do have daggers equipped if you're going to run it. And lastly, if you need a budget build, something like Order's Wrath and Julianos will work just fine. And I don't usually include mythic alternatives for Oakensoul builds, but Velothi Urmage is a really great mythic on Arcanist especially. So if you want to try that and just go 1 bar, that's another option as well. And I think that wraps it up. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will have a written guide linked in the description for those who would prefer that instead. And as always, thank you to my YouTube members. If you want to help me support my content creation, please consider becoming a member. And as always, thanks again, and see you in the next one.